Welcome everybody. So Pilates Essentials, and the last week before we've got a new routine starting next week. So enjoy. Just to start with, comfy position of the feet, and then just bringing your arms to the side of your body. Just bringing your arms to the side of your body. Good. And then just noticing your feet rooted into your mat or floor, wherever you are, and then just have that moment to lengthen up. So Monday morning, got a little bit of a reset, haven't we, after probably a busy weekend. Good. And then from the ground all the way up through the top of your head. Get that little bit of length, that little bit of energy to take us into the start of the week. Couple of deeper breaths. Welcome if you're just jumping on, we've literally just started. Well done. All right, then from here, we're going to take the right arm. We're going to go from the hip or from down to up and over. So exactly that. And then coming back and letting that arm lower. Same on the other side. So a sense of reaching up to stretch over. And obviously you can make that your own, making it, less or more. Reaching up and that giant stretch. Good. Coming back, maybe breathing in up to the ceiling and then over to your right. Good. And again, breathing in, one more each side. Stretch up from the ground. So really notice the ground pushing you up. Last one. Breathing in. Doesn't matter if you're doing the opposite to me. Breathing out. Then we're bringing our elbows wide, our feet still rooted into the floor, and we're twisting. Now, on these first few, we might shift our legs, our knees, our feet, and that's absolutely fine. Just get our little bit of a twist going there. Can we look left, come back to the centre? Yeah, so we might breathe in and then breathe out. Good, and then see if we can create a little bit more space between the elbows. So can we create a little bit more space so we get that wonderful width? Welcome if you're just jumping on. We've literally just started. So come back to the centre and then set yourself up so your hips are now really facing forward. So the front of your waistband is now facing forward. Breathing in as we twist now to the right, and then on the outward breath for you to open your arms, folding the arms back in and out back to the centre. Yeah, so we'll do that again. I'll go so you're going left now, breathing in and then breathing out like we're catching a giant beach ball. Yeah, and again you might be adapting, breathing in and breathing out. Good, the width across the elbows, rooting into your feet like we've said, hips facing forward as much as we can. Good, finding your breath pattern there. We've got one more to do. Twist, open and stretch, bring the arms back, and then all the way back to our start position. Let the arms go, let the arms swing. I know what you're telling me. Can we put our arms down now, please? I get it. All right, wonderfully done. So arms are just going out ahead of us. We'll do our nod of our chin towards our chest and rolling down towards the ground. We're coming all the way back up, breathing in and out just as feels good for you. And then opening your chest, taking your arms back just behind you, and then sending your chest forward and up. So pretty much our lower back stays in the same position. Yeah, so our lower back stays in the same position, but we're lifting up like our back extension, like a swan. Then we release, we take the nod of the chin to the chest, and we're rolling down again, releasing the neck and the shoulders, coming down towards the ground, and then coming all the way back up, breathing in and out just as feels good. And then we're taking the arms behind us. You can have your palms whatever suits you. And then your chest forward and up. Feel that really fabulous opening across the front of your body. And then we'll nod again. We're bringing our arms up and we're going to roll down again, breathing in and out as we go. Now, remember, you might be bending the knees, you might be, separating feet or bringing the feet close together, whatever suits you. Yeah, really nice. Lifting your chest, taking your arms back, whichever palm position you want, chest forward and up. Yeah, but the lower back and the hips stay in the same position. Then notice when you relax, how that feels a little bit different. Last one to do, arms out, a nod, and a rolling down. You might go forward if you wanted that extra little bit of sort of effort through the body there. You might not. Good, and then rolling back up, lovely. Good, very nice. And then at the top, the arms going back, chest going forward, and just that little gaze up. But the neck, your neck feels totally comfortable. We're not collapsing the head. And then everything releases and relaxes. I'm just looking to see what we've got. Oh yeah, just a little neck stretch now. So then we're still in our standing position. We're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder. Well done. Bring your head back up. Good. And then take the right ear to the right shoulder. You might be doing it the other way, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah, really nice. Coming back up, relax again. And then we're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder and use your left hand to just literally put your hand onto your shoulder and add a little tiny bit of downward pressure. So it's minimal, but you might notice with that opening into the front of the shoulder and a little bit of downward pressure, that extra stretch. Yeah, and then we'll come back, have a little wiggle out, check we're feeling okay there. And then we'll do the same to the other side if that's feeling good for you. So ear to shoulder, and then with your right hand, literally just a little, like 1%. Yeah, if 0 was like that, just 1% of opening up through the front and a little bit of downward pressure. Breathe. Good, and then release and relax. Very nicely done again. I only wrote this out last night and I've just totally forgotten what I was doing there. Okay, yeah, we're sitting down now. So we're going to just pop ourselves down to seated. And in fact, we'll grab our ball to start with. And we'll place the ball into the lower back. Yeah, don't worry, if you haven't got your ball, it's absolutely fine. All right, and this is our rounding back. Yeah, so our rounding back, so we're upright, we've got the ball jammed into the lower back, the arms are out ahead, and then straight into our pelvic tuck. So the back of your waistband heads towards the ball. So at that point, have a look at maybe yourself in your camera. You've got that C curve through the back. We're all going to look totally different with that, but think of that C curve from your head to your tailbone. And then we're coming all the way back to our seated position. Yeah, so you might just need a little wiggle around. I'll do that again. So we can take a breath in if we want to prepare, and then our exhale takes us back onto the ball. We're threading the front of the waistband through to the ball. Yeah, you might think the back of the waistband on the ball, breathing in and breathing out. Yeah, all right, so we're going to do 3 more like that, 2 or 3 more like that. Good. You can have your feet wherever you want them. So if wider feels better, great. You don't have to have the whole of the sole of the foot on the ball. But what I'd like, so then what I'd like a bit more of a tuck, and what we don't want then is necessarily a straight back when we've gone all the way back, if that makes sense. So tucking under, and then when we feel like we're going straight, then come back up. Yeah. So just as a reminder, I'll just do that again. So it's fine. It's totally fine. But so we're here, and then we're trying to avoid too much of that, only because, well, you'll notice that you'll probably feel a little bit less in control of your abdominals. A few is fine, but if we can keep with this, that would be great. So we don't end up, you know, throwing the body forward. Yeah. All right, lovely stuff. So we'll just have a little breather there. Yeah, readjust your ball if you need. And then if you put one hand onto your knee like this, and then the other arm out ahead. Yeah, so we've got that. You could even hold behind your thigh. It doesn't matter which arm, but you might want to be on side arm. So then we're going to go back, and as we exhale back, we're bending the elbow of the straight arm, but we're holding on with the opposite arm. Yeah, and then we're coming back to our start position. So this could be under the thigh. So you could have the hand under the thigh. So we're just going to judge, you know, how far back we can go. So we've got that bent elbow. We're twisting, aren't we? And we're coming back. And it's quite powerful, even with the support of the opposite hand, isn't it though? So just that lovely twist. Yeah, really nice. Now, as we do 3 more, coming back to upright, as we do 3 more, you've got the option of the open arm. So we can go back, exhaling our way back, opening, and then closing. Yeah, so that's going to be a little bit harder because we've got this longer arm, haven't we? So we've still got the hand on the knee or the back of the thigh, and we're still pretty much in our C curve. Last one here, rounding back, and then back to our start position. Well done. Now, before we do the other side, we'll take the ball and just do our lovely spine stretch forward. So your feet might go a little bit wider, and we're just stretching out. Yeah, and then we're working our way back up to sitting. We're going to put our hands on the ball or the floor if you're not using your ball, and lift your chest again. Just like we did in standing, can you almost push your chest forward and lift it? And then your head just goes along with the journey of that, the little ride there. Then we'll release, and then we'll go again. So we're just going like both directions for the spine. Stretching out. Yeah, go a little bit further if you can. Lovely. And then come all the way back up, hands on the floor, your thighs or your ball. Push into the ball, straight arms, lift your chest, push your chest forward, but notice your lower back is in exactly the same position. So we're lifting the chest. Good, and then we'll do one more like that. Maybe you can straighten your legs this time. Maybe you can point the feet, and that feels good. And we're stretching out. Pushing the ball forward, reaching forward. Good, and then rolling ourselves back in. Hands on the floor, thighs on ball. Chest lifts, chest goes forward. Good, straightish arms. And then we're just looking up. Remember, we're not dropping the head back. Yeah, we're not doing that. There's nothing wrong with that, but we're getting that sense of lifting and then relaxing. Oh, right, do you think we can stop now and just have a cup of tea? I'm exhausted. All right, so let's go to the other side. I'm just going to turn around, but I'm coming over to look at you. You don't have to turn around, obviously. All right, so now we're on the opposite side, aren't we? So we've got the ball back into the lower back. You can have your feet wherever you want them. Feet on the ground, or the feet lifted, the legs longer, or whatever gives you that sense of being upright to start with. So we're starting just with going back again. So we're taking the back of the waistband into the ball. So at that point, we should feel a nice little bit of abdominal work. You might feel the hips and you might notice your back. Yeah, you know, all those things are good as well. Remember, because everything's connected, isn't it? So we're going to do that again. So we're going to go rounding back, over the ball, and then back to our upright position. All right, you're going to do another 4 like that. Good. Yeah. Oh, we're not doing the twisting yet, actually, by the way. We're not doing the twisting yet, by the way. Sorry. Yeah. I'm just making you do more of these. These are looking fabulous. That's it. So think about drawing the front of your waistband into that front of the ball. Yeah, really nice. Good. And going back to where you're in control, and if you can, come back to upright each time. So we just give the whole spine that nice, like, little bit of effort there, don't we? All right, doing well on those. Good. And then we did 6 of our obliques, didn't we? So now we've got the opposite hand there on the knee or the back of the thigh is fabulous as well. Yeah, wherever the other arm works for you. We're upright and then we're rounding back. We're using that supporting hand just to help us decide where we're going. We've still got that pelvic tuck and then all the way back to our seated position. Yeah, so again, front of the waistband into that front of the ball. Yeah, using that exhale as we go back, twisting, and inhaling might bring us back up, but you might be adding extra breaths. All right, so we'll do that again, using the hand as that purchase. Twist the body. You've got it really nice. Then some of us added the straight arm as well. So do we want to do that on the next one? So now it's going to be harder because we've got this longer lever of the arm. You've got it. Good, and we've got 2 more. So don't be afraid to use your supporting hand. Head is lifted, head's just going with the movement. Good, you're still rounding back into the ball and then opening that arm or bending the elbow. Yes, very nicely done, gang. Lovely. All right, fabulous. What's next? Oh, single leg stretch. All right, so we're going down onto the floor. Hang on a minute, do you know what I've forgotten? The weights, the 1 kilogram weights. Just going to grab mine. And so if you've got your weights, that would be fab. And if you haven't, it doesn't matter. All right, so we are now just lying down. You might have your pillow for the back of your head. Yeah, and then do you remember the little bit of work that we've done for our shoulders? So some of us are going to be just doing the movement, aren't we? Yeah, and then some of us might use the hand weights. All right, so we've got the arms up over the chest, we've got the feet to the floor, and we're using this for, you know, think of it more as for mobility. Yeah, a little tiny bit of strength around the shoulder. All right, so then we're just going to start with small circles. So your arms are up over your chest, and then we're literally just circling the arms. Just tiny little circles. It wouldn't matter if you did both to the right or both to left, but I'm going right with one arm, left with my left arm. Now the rest of the back is long and lengthened. Notice your feet. Notice the back of your waistband, the back of your ribs. Can you notice the back of your shoulders? Yeah, and then the back of your head. Yeah, whether you've got your pillow or not. Good. Now you're going to make that circle just a little bit bigger if that suits your shoulder. Yeah, and you might be making a fist if you haven't got the hand weights. Yeah, so as you're in control, it's you just deciding how big that circle's going to be, and we're keeping that sense of control in our shoulder movements. When we come back, we pause, we go the opposite way and we start small, straight arms, knuckles up to the ceiling, a grip on the hand weight, and then going a little bit, making it a little bit bigger as we go. Breathing in, breathing out. Yeah, so if we can have a straight arm, that would be fabulous. Good, and just moving around that shoulder joint. Nice, good, and then after that last one, come back and stop. Good, right arm goes down to the floor. Yeah, left arm goes over your head. Yeah, you're going back again with that same control. Can I keep the sense that my arm bone is really rooted into the shoulder? So we're not just flailing the arm around. Yeah, you might be going back a little bit, or you might be taking the arm all the way back to the floor. Yeah, one more to do on this side. Good. Left arm goes down, right arm comes up. Set that straight arm and the arm bone into that shoulder socket, and then do the same on this right side. Can we nudge the arm a little bit further back as we go? Good, your choice of breath. Maybe that exhale as the weight goes over your head. Inhale to come back. You've got 3. Very nice. Good, straight arm and a grip on that hand weight if you can. 2. So we're using the arm as, as it should be, bent sometimes, straight, a lot of the time. Good, that should be our last one of those. Well done, everybody. All right, with or without your hand weights, arms go over your chest, your knees come up over your hips, and your back will lightly rest onto the mat. Okay, then when you're with me, right arm goes over the head, left leg stretches out. Hold it. Take a breath in. And then on the exhale, bring the arm and leg back to the start. Opposite side, exhale, left arm, controlled, right leg. Breath in as you hold. So you'll notice that effort. Breath out, you're coming back. Yeah, we'll do that again. So extending the arm and leg. Yeah, looking up to the ceiling, back staying secure. Yeah, same again. Reach and lengthen. Can you keep the same pressure from your back to the mat? One more each way. Stretch and extend, arm and leg. Coming back, and then next one's our last one. Yeah, very nice. Good, straight leg, straight arm as much as you can. You're judging that. And then coming back just to recover. Yeah, pop the arms down, pop the feet down. Take a breath or so there. Yeah. All right, up with the arms again. Yeah, last one here, legs come up. Could be one at a time. Nothing wrong with bringing them both up. Nothing's gonna, change. And then let's do our flies. So this is our chest flies. Now we've just got a very slight bend in the elbow, and the elbows have gone wide. Yeah, so they just go a little bit wide. So not bending the elbow and sending them to the knee, just literally let the elbows widen. Yeah, so from then, right foot taps to the floor, both arms into chest fly. Pause, breathing in and breathing out, coming back to your start. Now it's the opposite leg. Arms open, foot to the floor, might be your heel, might be your sole of your foot, and coming back. Now we go again, opening, that might be our inhale, and then closing on the exhale. Good. Looking up to the ceiling and keeping all those contact points on the mat with a similar pressure. Good, nice and smooth. Yeah, and arms over your chest, palms facing each other. Oh, I'm loving the tins. Yeah, a bit more over your chest than you'd anticipate. So bunch the arms, a little bit more over your chest. Yeah, I'm happy with those. So finishing with our left toe tap, if you were with me. Good work, gang. Good work. Really nice. All right, then we're going to put our hand weights to the side. And we've got the starfish. So again, comfy position of the feet. We've been looking at our knees, haven't we, to check that our hips are level and maybe our feet are in the same position. I was doing something the other day where we were using the end of the mat to sort of level up your feet. So I think sometimes it's really easy, isn't it, to have one foot in front of the other. And obviously that might be the case if we're recovering, might it? But then we might want to just start to get back to roughly that same level position of the knees. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Right arm goes over the head or up to the ceiling, left leg stretches out. Again, those contact points that you've got with your head, shoulders, ribs, waistband, they're all staying the same as we do the opposite side, and then coming back. So just a lovely starfish, really lovely rebalancer. Now you might be exhaling the arm and leg out, inhaling to come back. Stretch the legs, stretch the arm where appropriate, and then return it. Keep it going. Let's get a little bit of evenness into the body. Good, last one coming up. Well done, everyone. All right, legs together, arms wherever you want them for your hip rolls. So wide. Some of us go a bit behind us, over the head, sorry, and then you might be just at the side of your body. Yeah, what suits you and your upper body there. Rolling the legs. That's it, really nice. Can't beat it, can we? You can have your legs together, so you're rolling onto the outside edge of the outside foot, or you might just have your feet separated to hip width. How's it feeling as you do that? How's your body feeling? Your back, your hips, shoulders, all those things. All right, when you've evened that up, we're popping ourselves onto our side. And we've got the elbow to knee and our open book, and then our side bend with the thread of the needle, or just the thread of the needle, depending on what you're doing. All right, now, if you wanted, you could, so this is going to be sort of half of us, maybe if you're on replay, you could use your single hand weight for our first bit. So you might have your ear between your, on your pillow. Yeah, you might not. If you've got your arm out straight, see if you can have your palm facing up, hips are stacked, and our top leg is straight out. And then we've just got this bent elbow with the arm here like this, and maybe our arm over the head, or maybe you feel happy with the arm straight. So whichever kind of suits you as you do that. Start position. All right, then we're coming in, elbow to knee, and then maybe a little bit out, or you're stretching all the way out. Go again, 5. That's it, bottom leg rooted to the floor, 4. Really nice, 3. You've got it. Exhaling in is quite nice. Maybe that inhale as you stretch out. Last one. Good. And then we've got that straight arm and leg as well, haven't we? So now the straight leg goes up, straight arm. Good. And we might have that little bit of a turn out there because we've got the knee facing up to the ceiling. 3. You've got it for 2. Good. And then 1. Yeah, that's it. Well done. That's it on that one today. Then we put the hand weight down. You grab your pillow for the side of your head. You could then use your hand weight on the bottom hand, yeah, or your top hand. So legs together, gazes ahead, a little bit of a bent elbows going up like we always do. Squeeze the legs together and then rotate back towards the back of your space. And breathing in, coming back whenever you're ready, breathing out. Lovely. You're going to do that again. So legs together, knees that can be up towards more towards your hips if you wanted. Yeah, and if it's that, yeah, that little bend in the elbow like we just did with the chest flies. Yeah, and if it's easy, we squeeze the legs closer together and we keep them closer to the ground. So if it's feeling easy, see if you can keep your legs and hips more sort of square on. Yeah, really nice. And we can follow, we want to follow the hand, don't we? So do 2 more. We're opening, we're following the hand, we're opening into the chest and the shoulders. Yeah, we're twisting through the back. All those really fabulous things. Yeah, really nicely done, gang. All right, that's our last one. Oh, I think I'm going to have to say 8 for those at least. And then when we put the hand weight down, if you're using it, bring yourself up to your side bend position. So elbow under the armpit, top leg stretched out, and you might be staying here. So we're going to take that top arm and we're threading it through to the back, aren't we? And then we're coming up. So that's our movement. So if you're carrying on with that, that's absolutely fine. Otherwise, we push down through the bottom leg, the top foot and the forearm and hand, and we come up and then we go threading from there, don't we? So we're reaching through, and then we're coming back up, maybe reaching that arm up. So through, keeping those hips lifted. Notice how that bottom shin, the top foot are supporting you. Find a rhythm of your breath as you do that one more time. That's it. Thread and reach. Coming up and then coming all the way down. Well done. Okay, yeah, then we're here like this. Yeah, we might be sitting up on our pillow. Yeah, and then we're just going to do a really gentle-ish saw. Yeah, well done. So we're up. We might have our bent knees, we might have straight legs, we might have our toes up to the ceiling or just relaxed. We're going to go back to that wide elbow position and see if we can sit up right from those sitting bones all the way up, like we're sitting up against a wall. So we're going to turn and twist just like we would normally do in our standing position or for our saw. And then from here we'll reach the left arm, if you're with me, your left arm to your right foot and the right arm behind you. So stretching the arms and stretching us over. And then coming up and we're coming back to that bent elbow position. So we're going to breathe in, twist to the left, and then as we breathe out, the stretch of the arms takes us forward over the leg, but we're still pulling back with that back arm. Breathing in, coming up, widen those elbows, relax the shoulders. Breathing in as you twist, breathing out as you stretch, reach the arms. Breathing in, coming up, breathing out, center, even taller. Breathing in, rotate, breathing out, stretch the arms. The right hand to the left foot, the left hand behind us, coming all the way up and then relax there. Well done. So let's do the other side of our side little series there. So we're going to start with the elbow to knee. So you might have your pillow, you might be using your weight. Yeah, get yourself comfy. Maybe we've got the pillow between the ear and the arm. And if we've got the arm out straight, we can have the palm facing up, and that can help our shoulder position. And then if we're using the weight, we've got that in the top hand, our hips are stacked. And then we might just start with the arm up, the top leg out. And then when you're ready, elbow to knee. We've got that little turnout of that top knee, haven't we, as we come in and stretch. And you might be doing this without the hand weight. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Good, nice stretch. Really nice. And again, just find a breath rhythm that suits you. We're aiming to keep our hips stacked. Good. All right. And then if we wanted straight arm and leg. Yeah, straight arm and leg. Bottom leg secure, bottom arm secure. Keep it going. 4. Might be all smaller. 3. Arm goes up, leg goes up to meet each other. 2. Good. And 1. And we are finished there. Well done. Have your pillow. Put your head on your pillow and change it for your shoulders wherever you need. And then we can have the hand weight in the bottom hand, which is quite nice. Just gives us that nice little bit of security. Or you've got your hand weight in your top hand, bent elbow, breathing in, coming up, and we're using it to twist ourselves back towards the back of our space. Breathing in and breathing out. Yeah, so I've got my wall in the way where I've put my mat, so you might be going making that a lot bigger. The top elbow is slightly bent. Yeah, and then as you go back, you're looking towards the hand and you're using that bottom arm to keep you secure, and you're using your legs to keep your legs and hips in the same position, like our spine twist. Yeah. That's it. Really nice. And if it all feels easy, we squeeze the legs together and we press them a little bit closer to the ground so the legs aren't moving as we rotate back. Yeah, lovely. Let's do a couple more. Breathing in and then breathing out. Rotate. Use that bottom arm and bottom leg. Breathing in, coming up and breathing out to close. Good. Yes, lovely. Let's finish there. Well done, everybody. I hope that felt, quite a good stretch and twist for the body. All right, so then we're on our forearm, aren't we? Yeah, so up on that forearm, or you might be doing, something completely different. Elbow under the armpit, waist is lifted, and then your top leg stretched out, and that's our start position. So then we might say, well, I'm just going to enjoy, just doing that little bit of a twist, just the thread of the needle. We're pressing into the forearm and the hand, and then otherwise we're up, and we're going to do that for 6. So we're reaching through, maybe the inhale, then the exhale, threading through, and then lifting up, pushing into that bottom hand, really getting that twist going. Yeah, reach and stretch through, coming up. You've got 2 more to do. Yeah, and then you've got 1 more to do. Well done. Good. Very nice. Fabulous. All right, now from there, we're going to go straight onto our front and into swan. So we've got swan, we're adding the single legs, then we've got our scarecrow. All right, so we've got our feet on the mat, on top of the mat, the legs in parallel, and then just bring yourself now so that your fingertips are level with your eye line. Ish. You might have your arms at the side of the body, so if that's feeling better for the shoulders, you're doing that. Yeah. You might have them narrower, or you might have them wider. See what suits. So now we're stretching the legs, we're lifting our upper body into swan. Yeah, and I really want you to get the legs energized. Yeah, now at the top of that swan, looking down to the floor, we're going to lift the right leg with a little bit of a push down through the left. And then we're going to lower that right leg, and we're going to lift the left. Now our hips are staying on the mat, aren't they? It's quite tempting to think, oh, I'm lifting my leg and it's the whole rest of the body. But this is actually keeping the hip bones, like the front of the waistband, on the mat. 1 more each side if you haven't already. Lifting. Good, and lowering, and then coming back down and recovering. All right, so now we're just going to come up with the swan and the single leg. Yeah, and you can choose which leg because we're alternating for 8. So we're breathing in, coming up to swan, lifting a single leg. We'll have a point through the foot and both knees facing the mat. So your legs are in parallel. Yeah, and then breathing out as you come back down. So breathing into swan and adding your single leg, but keeping your hips level. Stretch and lift, and then lower back to that lengthening all the way back. Now go again, you've got another 6. And if it's not comfortable on the legs, then we're just doing the swan. No.
I've got vertigo, Carolyn. I'm going to leave. Okay.
Bless you. Yeah.
Had it before.
Yeah. Lots of love. Yeah. Yes, now, just before we go any further on that, can we just double check with the swan, that when we go up, don't we, which everybody's doing beautifully, but then we do need to come all the way down and let the shoulders, do as much movement as we can when we're down. So I'm just seeing a little bit of, like, we're coming up, and then we're sort of almost just bringing our head down, because then we haven't got anywhere to go when we come back up. Do you see what I mean? So just have a little practice of that. We start with the nose on the mat, and then you're lifting your upper body. Yeah, that's all you're thinking of doing. And as you do that, you create that space between the ears and the shoulders. But remember, we don't have to move the shoulders. Yeah, if we're happy with that. And then we come down, and we really then want the shoulders just to naturally just shift forward a little bit. Yeah, can you just have a little practice of that? So we're getting that, we are letting ourselves relax at the bottom of that move, yes? So it might be you need to change your arm position to accommodate that. Yeah, so do you need your arms maybe a little bit further forward to help you come down back onto the mat? Yeah, good. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Because we just want to build, we don't want, we can obviously just do it all that, but we really want some movement of the shoulder as we, a natural movement just as we go up and down, really. That's what it is. Then letting the shoulders move how they, designed to. Yeah, so as we lift, the shoulders naturally shift back as we open our chest, and then as we come down, they naturally just shift forward. Well done. All right, so then we're going to head then into scarecrow. All right, so we've been working on this movement, haven't we? Structure the legs, you lift up into your swan that you've all done beautifully, and then you lift your whole forearm and hand so that you're only resting on your elbows. Now that as you do that, the back of the hand is facing back, isn't it? And we notice particularly that middle part of the back, at the bottom of the shoulder blades now. And we lower the arms and we come back down. So quite a powerful move there. Stretch the legs. The legs are on the ground, the top of the feet, if you can manage it. You're coming up, you're lifting your forearms, breathing in, breathing out. Lowering the forearms and then stretching all the way down. Yeah. Now, some of us might be lifting maybe even just a hand. Yeah, it might not be the whole forearm. Yeah, and that's absolutely fine too, isn't it? We're just doing what we can with what we've got there. So relaxing and then going again. So this time we're going to come up. We're lifting the forearms and then we're lifting the elbows and putting the fingertips down. Then we're dropping those elbows and putting them back down. And then we're putting the fingertips down. You're still stretching the legs. You're still looking to the front edge of your mat. Last one. Forearms go down. We lower back down. And then recover. Yeah. All right, we're going to do that one or your version one more time. So we're coming up. The elbows are on the ground and the forearms lift. Then the fingertips and the elbows lift. Good. Very nice. Breathing in and out as you go. You might even be just holding your swan position instead of doing this. Last one. So you're staying up, remember? You're staying up. Good. One more where you put your elbows down. One more where you put your fingertips down. Then your whole forearm goes down and we come down. Well done. Oof. Yes, a ton of work there. All right, stay with me. So now we're stretching the legs. The arms are now at the side of the body, if that's suitable for you. Legs are stretched out, feet on the ground. We're lifting up just into our swan and we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. So as we do that, your palms might go from facing up to facing your body. And then we're releasing and we're relaxing all the way back to the start. So we're stretching the legs, we're coming up. We're turning the palms to face the body. And then we're releasing and relaxing back to the start. Now we've got one more to do. We're coming up. We're squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then we're coming all the way down and recovering. Well done. We'll push ourselves just to 4-point kneeling. And then we're rounding into cat and cow, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin, sending the tailbone up and then our gaze forward. Now breathing in and out. Remember, we could do this in like a standing roll down if we prefer, or reverse hip rolls if we prefer. Last one of these. Good going. All right, and then we're coming to seated, and you can sit however you like. Yeah, I'm just going to sit like this. You might have your butterfly position. You might have your legs crossed, whatever suits you. All right, and then just whenever you're comfy, relax your shoulders a little bit more. If we can, we'll sit up tall again. Good, and then this time we're just going to look over one shoulder. And we're just noticing how that feels. And we come back. I'm hoping it doesn't feel too bad. Looking over the other shoulder. And then coming back. And then we'll just have the arms just folded one on top of the other. And we're just going to do our little rock. So this is where we're just literally twisting around that middle back. Yeah, almost kind of twisting the ribs. Yeah, to twist that middle back. Relaxing, breathing. Yeah, arms can be just whatever feels comfortable, but notice there's quite a bit of energy as you do that. It can be like pumping out the exhale. And then we relax. Good, and then we look over our shoulder again, and we notice how that feels a little easier, doesn't it? We'll do the same on the other side. Yeah. Just might feel a little bit freer. You might have felt that you've got a little bit more movement. It's the connection of the middle back and our neck and shoulders. Good. When you come back to the centre, left ear to left shoulder, then your chin to your shoulder, chin all the way around to your opposite shoulder. Look over that right shoulder, and then bring your head back to the centre. Ear to shoulder on the right. Breathe. Chin to shoulder on the right. Roll your head all the way round, and then back up to our start. All right, ear to shoulder on the left. Good, now this time option to either repeat what we've just done, going forward or going back. But we're going to lift ourselves up through the spine. Good, all the way around, and then let your chin dip to your chest, and now to the right. And then supporting your head a little bit, so not letting your head just flop back all the way around. And then just letting your head hang, chin to chest. Good, and relax, bringing yourself back up. Well done. Come to 4-point kneeling, or your version of that. And then we've got swimming here, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Yeah, so if instead you could do this one straight on your tummy as well. Yeah, so opposite arm and leg. You could do that if you wanted. Yeah. Otherwise, 4-point kneeling, right arm, left leg, reach, stretch and lift. Lift to that arm and hip, or shoulder and hip level. Then coming back to the start. Now keeping the torso still as we do the left arm and the right leg. Lengthening and lifting. And then coming back to the start. And then, we want to just see if we can keep our back in the same position, which isn't easy with the swimming exercise, is it? Because we just naturally want to collapse the body down to the mat, don't we? Like when we lift the arm and leg, naturally the body goes down to sort of compensate there. But we're trying to keep that length through the back. Yeah, and we want that really big stretch, if we can, of the arm and the leg. Yeah. Doing well. Very nicely done, gang. Good, let's do one more each side. Right arm and left leg. Good, and then when you're ready, finishing with the left arm and the right leg, if you work with me. Fabulous. All right, last bit here on the mat. Yeah, so our puppy pose. So again, this is all about the shoulders. So we've got the knees directly under the hips, and we don't change that position. We take the arms forward. If the shoulders are comfortable, see if you can stretch the arms out so you can feel a pull in the shoulder. I've already come forward a little bit, so I'm just going to go there. And then you bring your head down between the arms. So there's a really generous stretch all around the shoulder. Not everybody wants to do that, so we can take the arms out a little bit and then come onto the forearms, and then the head comes down between the forearms. So whichever one we're doing, we're getting that stretch into the shoulders and the chest. Yeah, and you might think, well, actually, you know, this feels quite comfortable, so I'm going to just nudge my hips back a little bit away from the arms there. Or you might think it's a little bit too much, so I'm going to drop onto my forearms. Now with the back, again, we're not collapsing the back. I want you to sort of live in the back of your t-shirt, if that makes sense. So not letting yourself just collapse to the mat, you know, almost like do a little tiny little tuck, and you'll feel more of your shoulders as you do that. And that arm bone into the shoulder socket. Good, and we'll have one more breath there. Well done if you were doing something different. Good, and then from here we're going to make our way up, so we can, from our puppy pose, we can fold onto the forearms and then push ourselves up, and we might just do an extra cat there as well. All right, let's tuck the toes, and we can walk the hands to the feet, and we can bring ourselves up. Well done, everybody. All right, and then we've got, just again, comfy position of the feet, just belt and braces for us today if we don't get any extra leg strengthening in. Yeah, so we're going to let the arms go forward and let the hips sit back. Remember, you might be deciding to do a roll down or something else. Yeah, back to standing. So we're sitting the hips back, maybe a little bit. Yeah, and then coming back up. Remember, your back's straight, your chest is lifted, and your hips are going back. Yeah, so have a look at yourself as you do that. Have your gaze ahead and just sit back. That can be quite useful. Yeah, so back straight rather than rounding through the back. Yeah, so are you stretched out? Look, you know, instead of looking down, look about 2 meters ahead of you. Yeah, and that gives that length through the back. Yeah, really nice. Good, let's do one more like that. Yeah, so lengthening, sitting the hips back. Good. And then coming back to our start. Well done. Good. All right. So you might say, well, that's the one I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna do that again, or I'm gonna just put something else in because of knees and hips and all those things. Otherwise, we're gonna have the hands on the hips. We're going to step out and squat and then come back in. Then the same side again. Step out and squat and come back in. Do you remember how our weight stays even on both legs? You know, it's not like we're transferring the weight to the right leg. We're just stepping out, squatting and coming in. Step out, squat and come in. 2 more. That's it. Really nice. Good. Last one. Fabulous. Then we'll do the same to the other side. So we just step out to squat and then come back in. So your weight's even through both legs as you step out. Yeah, obviously we've got some time where we're on a single leg, haven't we? So stepping out, right leg having to do a bit more work there. Yeah, step out and squat if that works for you. Last one of those. Good, very nice. All right, then we've got the choice then of doing whatever you're doing, or the last bit we're going to go 1, 2 and come back up. So we go a little double bounce, the thighs doing that work. 1, 2, and then just 1 more of these. So there's 4 of these. Good, and then we do the same on the other side. So we go a little mini bounce, come back up. You might be doing something completely different or just the basic squat. 2 more. 1, 2, Good, and hips are going back and backs are straight, and then we come back to the start. Well done, everybody. Take our feet a little bit wider. We're going to go reaching up, all that bent elbow like we did to the start and go at the start and going over. Good, and same to the other side. Breathing in, stretching over as we're breathing out. Let's do one more each side, and then we've got a couple of roll downs to finish. Pressing into both feet, generous side stretch. Breathe and stretch. Really nicely done. And then wherever you are, we could put the hands on the thighs or the arms out, nod, and this time we might roll down a little bit forward of the feet. Good, see if we can stretch a little bit more. Maybe even a bend and stretch of the legs. Press into the feet and then come back up, breathing in and out. All the way back to standing. Very nice. One more time, whichever version you're doing. Nod and roll. Stretch everything out. Let your head hang. Bend the knees if you wanted. Back straighter legs if you prefer. And then roll yourself back up. It's just roll the shoulders all the way up, round and back. 3, 2, and 1. Good, let's go the other way. 4, and 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Very well done, everybody.